Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to welcome you to this morning's meditation. And I am happy to introduce Caverly Morgan, who's the teacher that we're blessed to have on this platform today. If you're just joining us this morning, Caverly Morgan has been teaching contemplative practice since 2001. She's the founder and guiding teacher of Presence Collective, a nonprofit here in Portland, Oregon, as well as Peace in Schools, which is a nonprofit that created the country's first 4-credit mindful studies class in high schools. Caverly spent 8 years at a monastery and these days blends some more modern non-dual teachings with a sort of traditional Zen approach. The way that this session will work, there will be a 30-minute guided meditation at the beginning, followed by a question and answer period. There is the option to come on screen if you would like to engage with Caverly that way. So how that works, you're welcome to write in the chat bar on the side that you have a question and you'd be willing to come on screen. I'll invite you on screen and you can engage with Caverly that way. If you prefer, there's a ask a question box under the screen. So in the Q&A session, if you'd like to just write in a question, that works as well. Sangha Live is the world's largest Dharma group that's open to anyone to join. They rely on donations to offer the wisdom and teachings that they do. So if you are able to donate, there is a donate button under my face. And please click on that and know that your donation also supports those who, for whatever reason, are not able or don't have the means to donate at this time. And thank you in advance for taking care of us all in that way. One event that I do want to mention that Caverly will be doing this Monday, May 11th, is at 10:30 a.m. And that is an interview with Jeff Charno, who created the Being and Doing Summit. So that event, 10:30 a.m. on May 11th. And you can go to Caverly's website to find out information about that event. I'll post a link to her website in the chat after she comes on screen. And then if you're curious about Jeff Charno, there's an interview with Caverly, her last interview with him on her Instagram page. So I'll post a link for that as well. And that event will include interviews with teachers like Lama Rod Owens, who Sangha Life has also hosted. So without further ado, I will welcome Caverly on screen.
Cassandra, thank you. I'm so appreciative that you're here. Thank you. And friends, I'm really appreciative that you're here. It's time in which it can be incredibly helpful, sustaining, to focus on gratitude, being conscious of the many simple things that there are to be grateful for. I have so much love and care for Martin, as many of you do on this platform or who join this platform. And I was heartened to see his update yesterday. Having spent weeks being sick, I was really heartened to see his face and see his update. And I appreciated that he pointed to being grateful for life right now. So, gratitude. In just a moment, we will move into this morning's sit, this afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. Before we do, take a moment to settle into whatever position you'll be in for this meditation. And then if you would, take a moment to ask, not from the head, allow the attention to drop into the heart and ask, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for in this moment? Let it be simple, easy. It doesn't have to be something that you think a lot about. This doesn't have to be a grand answer. The first thing that arises for me is I'm grateful to have the space, to have the privilege to have a flower garden, a space in my yard for growing flowers. And I'm grateful for the entrance of the iris into our view. The iris just beginning to bloom here. So look to see what arises and write if you wish, just, it's always nice to have a handful of people just jot notes in that sidebar so that we can hear each other's acknowledgement and gratitude. Richard, clay cold hands, that's a lovely image. Yeah, and Ellen, I'm glad that you appreciate hearing Martin's update as well. I know there are many people here that care for him deeply as well. Mary Jane, grateful that the beauty is shared. You can even smell them. It's true. My husband, Vineet, and I were just talking about the very subtle, sweet, sweet smell of the iris, which is quite strong actually in this very small enclosed meditation room that I have. Green leaves, love, and my beloved. Bird song, water. The breath. May we be grateful for the breath, health, shelter, nutrition, meditation practice, relief from Wednesday's aches and pain, the beauty of springtime. Friends, thank you. Let's move into a meditation in which we can focus even more deeply on gratitude and the heart. Gentle breeze. Thank you, Kiki. I feel like I can feel it. Beginning with 3 of the longest and deepest inhalations and exhalations you've taken yet today. Julian, welcome. Thank you for acknowledging life. Elaine, thank you for offering gratitude for these meditations. I'm grateful for them as well. So I want to begin this meditation by acknowledging that I work with many Buddhists who think of themselves as recovering Christians. If that's true for you, and if me using the word God is triggering for you, first, just notice that. It's helpful to see what our triggers are. Second, find the openness. I invite you to find the openness to use the word that resonates for you. The way that I use the word God, many could interchange with pure consciousness or life or the universe. So again, just play along with me if you would, and notice triggers, because that's our practice, to see what triggers the conditioned system, to also receive the clarity that comes from being sensitive. So in other words, not just writing it off if we have a reaction, but looking to find the truth of that experience, not just invalidating it. And then again, the invitation is to find what word works for you. It's a lot of preamble to the sentence that after I rang the bell, I felt inspired to begin with, which is, for this meditation, rather than focusing on gratitude for specific objects in our life, let's turn the attention to what's God-given, or as I've been having exchanges through this platform with Elaine around what's primary or fundamental. What has nothing to do with the ego's achievements, or the achievements that then the ego claims. The ego is illusory, so it's actually responsible for nothing in reality, but it claims it's the clown that bows at the end of the play, that it didn't actually perform as one of the actors in. So if I were speaking to a teenager right now in school, I might say, let's go deeper than simply, I'm grateful for the test I aced, or that I aced the test. Nothing wrong with being grateful for that. Important to be grateful for that. But for this meditation, let's drop the attention into gratitude and appreciation for the most primary experience we know. So for example, pause in this moment to rest into gratitude for the breath. we often forget to simply pause and appreciate the breath because we might be busy resisting that the breath is short or trying to change the breath or ignoring the breath. Along with gratitude for the breath, allow yourself to experience enjoyment. Experience the pleasure of breathing. If you are able-sighted, now move the gaze of your eyes around this space for a moment. We are in the meditation. This is a contemplative experience. Notice any tendency to think about what your eyes land on. Not bad or wrong, but let the activity of the thinking mind do its thing while you draw the attention back to the experience of simply seeing. And as you simply see, allow yourself to experience gratitude for your capacity to see. What a gift sight is. So release the temptation to take it for granted or assume that it belongs to you, a small self. It belongs, sight belongs to consciousness. Again, a Christian mystic might say, sight, my sight belongs to God. Thank you. We have this gift. Allowing the eyes to close and turning the attention to hearing. My hope is that someday all of these meditations will be captioned. So if you're tuning in and reading captions, continue to focus on sight. If you're able to receive the stimulation of sounds around you, rather than focusing on the sounds themselves, notice the sounds and then attend to the experience of simply hearing. Grateful to hear. Direct your attention now to your experience of taste. I just finished some beautiful, rich, full-bodied oolong tea. Give yourself to the subtlety of experiencing that taste fully, whatever's alive for you. And if it's no taste, if it feels deeply neutral, explore what's the experience of no taste. Gratitude for our capacity to taste. Offering a subtle bow in the heart for our God-given capacity, our innate capacity to taste. For the gift of taste. Give your attention to smell, the capacity to smell. First, notice if you smell anything in particular. So notice the object that through the means of attention you can direct towards. So I smell the iris. Next, noticing the subtleties of that experience. As I release the label iris, what do I know about my experience of smelling these flowers? Gratitude for the capacity to smell. Gratitude that smelling is, again, releasing any sense of ownership. Recognizing smelling as belonging to life. Activity in the universe. Like the blooming of a flower or the falling of rain. All various modulations of consciousness. The same unlimited consciousness. So release the object, what you are smelling, if you're still focusing on that, and bring your attention to the knowing of smell. So bring your attention to awareness itself. You only know a smell because you're aware of the smell. And bring your attention to your capacity, the capacity to feel sensation. So you could start with gratitude for the body, which sensation arises. But then free this felt sense of body. Free the object by releasing the attention into awareness of body, awareness of sensation. Thank you for awareness. Again, a Christian mystic or even a Sufi might say God's infinite knowing, or a Sufi might refer to it as the beloved. You might refer to it as life. True nature. Our true nature is fundamentally, inherently awake. Thank you for this primary fundamental experience of awakeness that we are. Do not overlook this gift. Friends, thank you. Grateful to you. Gratitude for gratitude. In the name of gratitude, as you know, now is my moment to give a little reminder to support Sangha Live if you're able. Green button just below. We can't exist without the generosity of your spirit. Thank you. So friends, I would love to open this up now for discussion. If you'd like to come on screen with me, please do. I just love the opportunity to have an exchange with you. We've had, as you know, if you've attended any other sessions, we've had some days where there's some technical challenges. I believe we did receive some information from Jake this morning. So Cassandra, if you could put that in the sidebar, I think. Yeah, we got some information about Macs and Chrome. So yeah, watch the sidebar if you're having any technical difficulties. We did hear back from Crowdcast. Thank you, Cassandra, for putting the information about this summit that I'll be part of on Monday. It's a live interactive call, so it'd be lovely to have you show up and call in if you'd like. And Spencer, my dear friend, Manju, miniature Australian shepherd. Manju's short for the Tibetan deity. This pup is very interested in your new pup. Oh, I imagine you all could hear my new pup in the background. I certainly could, but I wondered if this mic was picking it up. What's your dog's name? Can you bring him on screen sometime? And then John and Nancy say, grateful for your puppy. Took me right to awareness. Thank you. Okay, so friends, and now you're hearing the garbage truck. So hopefully that can bring us to awareness as well. Yeah, I'm so grateful to have this new puppy, Dogen, named after the Zen master Dogen, in my life. And my husband is tasked with entertaining the puppy during these meditations. There have been a couple times where on our Wednesday night class, I asked Alyssa whether the incessant squeak toy downstairs could be heard with the mic. And so anyway, I learned that yes, it could. So we do have a lovely new puppy in our house. He's a rescue, and we were told he was a mix, and then we took him to the vet, and the vet said, there he is, there's Dogen. We took him to the vet, and the vet said, you can do a DNA test if you want, but you have a German Shepherd puppy on your hands. So he's a big boy, growing quickly. Melanie, grateful for the ability to recognize and experience the vast expansion of our gifts of breath, sight, hearing, taste, smell, and sensation. Thank you, Melanie. I do appreciate you writing gifts, because that's really what I wanted to focus on today, that these expressions of consciousness, these experiences in consciousness are gifts, not to be taken for granted. And our ability to be aware of these gifts, the capacity for awareness, consciousness, is also a gift. So as we focused on in the meditation, we can be aware or grateful of the object, grateful for whatever the attention lands on. I'm grateful that I did well on a test, for example. And then we can also be grateful for the capacities that allowed for the experience of a test. something more primary, more fundamental, awareness itself. Awareness expressing itself through these various forms. All of it arising in awareness, all of it known by awareness. How do we know the smell of the flowers? It can only be through awareness. So Jan, you say, Caverly, thank you for your awareness of differently abled folks in your gratitude meditation around the senses. Yes, absolutely. I do, as I mentioned, I hope that we are able to move in the direction of captioning these. And part of what I have been bringing attention to is gratitude for privilege. There's so many privileges that we have. Elaine, gratitude for my mind, capacity to understand what you are saying and putting it in thought, grateful for thoughts. Yeah, and putting it thought, or maybe giving it thought. Yes, Elaine, absolutely. What shifts in our experience when, rather than, let's just say I have the thought, I don't like broccoli. What shifts when I am able to give the attention to gratitude for capacity to taste, gratitude for the experience of taste. Free the object of broccoli. That's a new bumper sticker. Free the broccoli. Free the object. And surrender the attention to gratitude. And notice what happens. This might be a lovely assignment through the weekend. I love homework assignments in awareness practice because it keeps inquiry fresh and at the forefront of our experience. So this weekend, you might focus on gratitude, and specifically not just gratitude of a particular object. Erica, thank you for this meditation, Caverly. I've been practicing presence for a while now and noticed my frustration, disappointment, and fixing tendency of my conditioned mind. This meditation gave me a tool to focus my attention back to the basics and living life as an experience, as a gift. Absolutely, Erica. This is a practice of directing the attention, focusing the attention. That right there is something to be grateful for, that we have the capacity to direct our attention and place it where we want it to be. So thank you, Erica. Yes. Linda, I agree with Melanie that these senses are gifts, and it was exquisite to experience them in an expansive way. Yes, it is, isn't it? Not a narrowed way. Again, usually, like in a traditional mindfulness practice, we might just focus on the object, be mindful of the breath, but we might not turn the attention to how we're aware of the breath. So we just focus on the object. What makes it expansive, what allows for expansiveness as a practice, just to spell this out, is turning the attention or giving the attention to our capacity for awareness itself. For instance, in my conditioned mind, everyday way, I do not normally experience smell as a full body sensation. But in meditation, these gifts are much fuller through awareness. Very well said, Linda. It's narrowed. If I'm focusing on senses, but it's all being perceived through the limitation of the conditioned mind, then I might only be focusing on the object of, you use the example of sensation. If I'm only focused on the object of sensation, then it's quite easy for the next step to be, is this painful? Do I like this sensation? Do I want to get rid of this sensation? Is this sensation a problem? Let me have a conversation with myself about this sensation. And that's one plane, one level of experience. But it's not the, as you said, Linda, the fullness of experience. So thank you. Alan, thanks for naming kindness in the sidebar there. It is kind, isn't it? The most simple way to say it is to be freed from only relating to life on the conditioned plane. There's kindness in seeing beyond that limitation. Kiki, thank you for writing in. I just realized there's a question in the other box, and that one was earlier in the queue, so let me look at that. And Cassandra, thank you for just posting. If you're having any tech issues and you'd like to come on screen, Cassandra gives us more information about that. So please, if you'd like to come on screen, please check that out. So Sandy, no worries. You apologize you're not able to come comfortably on screen. It's really okay. It is my job to keep reminding you that I would love it if you can, because I do just love, it's all about love, folks. I love the chance to just engage fully. And this engagement is also worth loving. So thank you for writing in, Sandy. As this Sunday is Mother's Day in the US, I wonder if you might comment on how I might disengage from my mother's intense sadness, depression, even years after she's passed. Thank you for writing in, Sandy. Sandy, I'm going back to your question. You say, even years after she's passed, how I might disengage. When you say disengage, it's an important word. What you're describing is that you want to be freed from the focus on your mother's sadness. In light of the theme of today, moving beyond gratitude for objects and releasing into gratitude for what is. That could be the title today, perhaps gratitude for what is. Or we might say gratitude for what's most primary, but that might be harder for people who are just stumbling upon this meditation to understand. If you've been sitting with me every day, you know what I mean now by what's most primary, what's unconditioned. So what you're longing for, Sandy, is to be freed from the habit of focusing the attention on your mother's depression. So I'm going to call this is my little cushion for my bell. I'm going to call this your mother's depression. You historically focus the attention, you identify as this separate self. We all do. This is not personal. You identify as this separate self, and then you focus on your mother's depression. And that narrow focus, the byproduct of it is suffering. No surprise, we suffer if I'm focused on what's wrong or how there's not enough. If I'm identified with the mind of scarcity, I'm going to suffer. So I'm focused on my mother's depression. Your habit, Sandy, and I'm so glad you wrote in again, because even though we haven't had an exchange face-to-face, you've written in enough things that have allowed me to taste that one great opportunity for freedom in your life is around your habituated relationship with your family. You know this, but I'm feeling this. You know that you have a lot of conditioning to stay hooked into your family of origin and identified with your placement in your family of origin in relationship with that and suffering over it. So this is important, Sandy. You habitually focus on your mother's depression. When you do that, you're pigeonholed into this narrow focus, and it seems like the issue is your mother's depression. So you're kind of fiddling with this object of her depression. It's good that you're able to see she's not even alive anymore, and you're still focused on this experience and suffering over it. Don't fiddle with this object anymore. Just free this object. It's free. It's gone. Free the object. And by the way, easier said than done when it's an object that we're habitually attached to. Okay, I'm just trying to be playful here. It's out of the screen. Good. It's gone. Now, let the attention rest in awareness itself. Notice you have been aware through the means of attention. You've been aware of this object. Free the object. Make a practice out of resting the attention in presence. Your mother's depression, and we need to be clear right now, it's actually your memory of your mother's depression. Your memory of your mother's depression arises in awareness. How do you know this experience? You only know it through awareness. What is this memory even made of? This memory's made of consciousness. It's made of awareness. So allow the attention, free the object. Allow the attention to sink back into being aware, knowingly being aware. That is the greatest gift you could give yourself on Mother's Day. Rest in the grand mother, the unconditioned mother, the mother of all form. Allow yourself to experience gratitude for that. Free your mother, free these memories of your mother, free these labels of your mother. You deserve, Sandy, the freedom to know the freedom that is your birthright. Your true nature is undisturbed by these memories of your mother. Your true nature is untarnished. By your reactivity to these memories. Return to the refuge of that, this true nature. Don't let it be a that. Don't let it be far away. It's here now. Return to this true nature. Now, Sandy, in hearing my words, return to this presence. Jan, thank you for thanking Sandy for asking that question. And Julian, you too appreciate that Sandy asked that question. Mimosa, yes, thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Mimosa, for the compliment. You wish I lived in the UK. I wouldn't mind that. I was about to say something political, but I think, I'm out of time, folks. I won't say something about the politics in our country right now. Friends, thank you. Thank you so much for being here today. We are out of time. I wish you a wonderful weekend, and may we all on Sunday express some gratitude for mothers in our lives, women in our lives, and the divine feminine as well. So take it out of just the object of who gave birth to you, and let that be an expression of gratitude as well, but also take it, allow it to broaden, widen, become full, as one of you mentioned. And I very much look forward to being here together with you on Monday. And please do join that interview with Jeff on Monday, 10:30 Portland time. If you're able, it would just be so great to have your participation. I love that it's a live stream engaged call. All right, friends, thank you. And thank you, Cassandra, for your support.